Hello, Thrivers. Heather here. I have a brand new headset my husband got me for Christmas with Bluetooth. So if you can see and hear me, especially if you can hear me okay, I definitely want to know that I'm coming through loud and clear as I'm using new technology. I thought I'd test it out now before we do like a huge masterclass or something. So, all right, so this is our Better Me, Better Marriage Challenge, and we are already on day number 7 out of 18 days. I got some great feedback from some of you in the group that this challenge is really, really helping you. Amber in the group was talking about how she's going through a very challenging time the past 2 weeks, and that this challenge has helped shift her perspective from fear and pain more towards love and peace. And the beauty of this challenge is that we all have the ability to choose that. Every moment of every day, one small choice after another. And if you've been doing this and you have applied the principle, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen that, excuse me, I'm spitting here. Oh my goodness. My brother's about to go to Nepal and ride camels, but I feel like a camel right now because I'm spitting. Anyway, apologize about that. But I feel like when I make one small decision, and it can be literally the smallest thing. If I start to notice some tension, if I start to notice that I'm feeling upset that my children have been so sick, right? Or slipping into that complaining mode, or just noticing my energy start to go down for any reason, and I make one small shift away from fear and away from pain, that I choose to see it a different way, and I choose to see the world more with peace and more with love, with myself more with peace and more with love. When a situation comes up, if I just make even a small change, like for the smallest thing, then it starts to have a compounding effect. It puts me back in momentum, and I feel that it really starts to shift everything else. And so again, welcome everyone joining. Kippy, Keisha, Edna, Mustang, Kaylee, Rena. If you can hear me okay, please let me know, because I've got a brand new headset, so I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So I'm really grateful that a lot of you are really applying this challenge, really taking it to heart, and allowing these daily practices to start to change the way that you're seeing things. And when you start to change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It all starts from within, and then it has that ripple effect into the outer results. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. What I really love about these challenges, oh, thank you, Keisha. What I really love about these challenges is that we do them every day. And that shows the power of just daily consistency. It's not about being perfect. It's not about completely mastering it overnight, but it is about doing the work every day and getting a little better every single day. Okay? Awesome. Thanks, Edna. Thanks, Rini. So yesterday, our challenge was I could see peace instead of this. So how did you do with the challenge? Be really honest. Did you struggle with it? Did you forget about it? Did you do it? Did you shift an experience where you were maybe in some turmoil? Maybe you were in some pain. A couple of you have commented about that it's really hard to get through the heartbreak and the pain. And so if you're in that heartbreak and pain, then how can we shift out of that and to choose to see peace instead? What helps you get to that point of peace? Is it letting go, letting God? Is it through meditation? Is it through just making that conscious choice? I'm going to bring more peace. I'm going to choose to see this with love instead of attack thoughts. What does it look like for you? What is helping you the most? And I really appreciate everyone who does comment and share, because you never know that what you share or what you just share, even if you didn't do so good, but just by being vulnerable and being real, you never know that that could be exactly what helps inspire someone else or comfort someone else in what they might be going through. So it's the power of accountability, as well as the power of, passing it on and helping others as well. All right, awesome. Very good. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat here because I really love hearing your feedback, especially when I'm live with you. All right, so going to our book, A Mini Course for Life, we're going to be talking about retraining the mind. I love this. This is the heart of what I do as a mindset expert, and what I have learned from my incredible mentors, the power of our minds, and specifically how our subconscious is an incredible tool that we can use. Actually, we use it all the time, but sometimes we're not using it in the ways that serve us best. right? We get stuck in that story that I talked about yesterday as I shared my story about how I thought I had to be this, this, and this in order for Ben to love me. And it was a completely false story. He loved me no matter what. He was unconditional in his love. I had to retrain myself to become more unconditionally loving. And it's a process. And so a lot of you yesterday were talking about how your heart's broken because your spouse doesn't love you unconditionally. Right. But that's the opposite of this whole challenge. The opposite of this whole challenge is to recognize that you cannot change anyone else, and that you lamenting, I'm just going to be really real, and hopefully that this may be of service to you, but complaining or lamenting that your spouse isn't unconditionally loving is missing the whole point. Okay, the whole point they're talking about yesterday with the getting and giving is that giving means extending our love with no conditions and no expectations. Peace of mind occurs when we focus our attention on giving and have no desire to get anything or to change another person. So I would encourage you, if you're like, oh, well, my spouse doesn't love me unconditionally. Okay, well, that's the majority of the world, okay? Most of us do not ever experience that. However, that's the whole point, is not to try to change or expect anything from anyone else. If you want to get to that state of love and peace, it is only within you, and you need to learn how to cultivate that kind of unconditional love in yourself with no agenda, no desire to change someone else, no desire to try to get anything from anyone else, and no desire to try even change a circumstance, because there's sometimes situations we have that ebb and flow in life. Life hits you really hard, and sometimes that's just what it is. And the only thing that you have control over is how you're going to deal with it. And the peace can come even in the midst of the most challenging storms by turning within and looking at yourself and what you can control. So retraining the mind, retraining the mind here to choose to look at the world with peace instead of conflict. And retraining our mind that we're not trying to change anyone else. We truly understand that change, transformation, and peace comes from changing ourselves within. Okay? I love you. And I'm saying this with deep, deep love. This is the process. And I understand it is challenging, but it is everything. It's why we're here, right? And if we don't do this, then we miss the whole purpose of our existence. We are here to have joy. I love the scripture. I'm going to quote scripture here. But men are that they might have joy. That is why we are here. It doesn't mean that we're here to make our spouses perfect or to change them or to have perfect circumstances. It's to find the joy even in the difficult circumstances. That is how we become who we're really meant to be. That is how we become a rock in our own life. Okay, so retraining the mind. I love this part because there are some really powerful questions that I do want us each to take some time to answer. And whether you do it now or you come back to it later today, I also encourage you to write them out physically or put it into your phone, because like I've said before, when we actually commit our thoughts into written words, it clarifies things for our mind. It gives that focus that our mind needs to be able to then act on what we're telling it to do, okay? So to aid in retraining your mind, ask yourself the following questions within any circumstance, whether private or interpersonal. 1, do I choose to experience peace or conflict? That's our question every day, right? 2, do I choose to experience love or fear? 3, do I choose to be a love finder or a fault finder? So good. It just gives me shivers. I don't know about you guys. 4, do I choose to be a love giver or a love seeker? Check in with yourself. Am I choosing to be a love giver or a love seeker? 5, is this communication verbal or nonverbal, loving to the other person? And is it loving to myself? Many of our thoughts, statements, and actions are not loving. If we want peace of mind, it is essential that our communications with others promote a sense of joining. To have inner peace, it is necessary to be consistent in what we think, in what we say, and in what we do. Okay, so that's our check-in with ourselves. And here we can recognize, wow, maybe I've been really off my path. I've been really living in a way that now I recognize is not congruent with who I really am and who I really want to be. The way I've been living is not incongruent with peace and harmony and love and joy. I've been living in conflict within myself, conflict with my spouse, and conflict with life. And it's exhausting. And I'm done. I'm going to lay down the sword. I'm through. I'm ready for a new way. I'm ready to learn some new things, to develop some new skills, to retrain my mind, and to ask myself these beautiful questions in every circumstance, especially those that are very challenging. So I love those questions. They're just so incredible. All right, let's go to our specific challenge for today. And I've got Naomi over here to visit me. They're building train tracks downstairs. I will come see you in just a minute. Okay. All right. So day number 7, there is nothing to fear. That's our challenge today. Let's look at the world. There is nothing to fear. Okay, let's read the lesson on the back. The world transformed through my loving vision shows me that there is nothing to fear. It is impossible for me to experience love and fear at the same time. It is also impossible for me to experience peace when I am fearful. Today, I choose to experience only love by reminding myself there is nothing to fear. Okay, that's our challenge. Awesome. So if you want to live with that love and that peace, then put in the comments right here the declaration, there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. I release all fear. I release all limitation. I release my conflict thoughts. I choose to see the world with love. And I know that I can make that choice at any time. Okay, you don't have to type all that, but just type this. There is nothing to fear. I always embellish. There is nothing to fear. So very good. All right. I appreciate everyone turning in here with the chat. Thank you so much. And let's do this. Let's choose to see the world with love instead of fear and recognize fear is in our mind. It's there to teach us, as I'm going to do a training on Thursday. Really excited about that. But it's a choice, and we can choose to see the world a different way. So that's awesome. I'm excited to see how this works for us today. I appreciate you. My heart, my love, my gratitude, they flow out to you, and I hope you have a fantastic day.